I have been training for 6 years now, and let's just say I've made a lot of mistakes. So in the next 6 minutes, I'm going to teach you exactly how not to make the same mistakes I did and how to get jacked quicker. And you have to nail the last one to make all of the other ones work. First mistake that you need to avoid is you need to stop fixating over the scale weight. This is something that caught me really early on, and I guarantee it catches a lot of you out as well. When I first started in the gym, my main aim, apart from getting abs and seeing that bicep vein, was to be 100 kilos. And I would do exactly what other lads would do and do anything by any means possible to gain weight. My diet was an absolute mess. I was eating everything in sight because my main aim was to just get to 100 kilos. In my head, I thought the more weight that I was gaining, the more muscle that I was gaining. But that is certainly not the case, at all. Building muscle is a very slow process, so you can't just speed run it by eating as many calories, because that's just gonna get stored as fat, as I found out the hard way. Looking back, I didn't build as much muscle as I thought. I just put on a lot of fat, and the calories were really, really low. I was doing a lot of cardio just to basically undo the damage that I'd done in the bulk. So instead, as painful as it is, you need to do this slow. You need to be in a small surplus, 100 to 200 calories, and do not get fixated on the scale weight. Ideally, 0.2 to 0.3 kilos per week, but I'd be looking at your training performance, and I'd be looking at the way you look on how to determine your progress. Now, this might hurt a few egos, because it definitely did mine, but you need to stop fixating on the calories and macros in the foods that you are eating. Yes, they're important. The calories are important. At the end of the day, it is calories in versus calories out, but your micronutrients are going to be so much more important. Being hyperfixated on your calories and your macros is only going to get you so far. When I first started off, it was all about protein. I was trying to hit my protein, hit my calories. It didn't really matter what I actually used to fill that calories. I did use the if it fits your macros kind of approach, and that worked for a short period of time. The majority of my protein came from protein powder. Now, I'm not saying protein powder is the worst thing in the entire world, but there isn't many nutrients in protein. It's just literally protein powder, and I wasn't getting enough nutrients throughout my diet. I wasn't eating as many eggs. I wasn't having any beef mince. I wasn't having any red meat. I became hyper fixated on getting the protein in and then getting carbs in around the training. I then completely neglected my fats. So I completely neglected my hormone regulation. I absolutely tanked my hormones at 23. That was all down to just focusing on calories and macros. Are only gonna get you so far. Instead, you wanna focus on the actual nutrients that you are getting from the foods, because your body needs nutrients, and it's gonna go out and look for more food if you're not giving your body the nutrients that it needs. Focusing on getting your vitamins and minerals in every single day, your fruit and veg, making sure you're prioritizing red meat and eggs, getting your dairy in as well, getting your calcium. These things are important. And then you focus on what calories you're eating and what protein you're getting in. I guarantee if you focus on your micronutrients, eating single ingredient whole foods, getting your protein through the likes of yogurt, eggs, red meat, then you won't have to worry about hitting your protein because you're already eating plenty of protein. One of the things that I used to hyper fixate on, and that is majoring in the minors, looking at the small 1%, 5% things that do matter, but they do not matter as much as people think that they do. Looking at the likes of your supplements, I was asking people about, your hydration strategy, looking into, the perfect way to do your bicep curl. Honestly, mate, do not even think about that at the time being. That isn't your main priority. Your main priority is to focus on the 90% of things, focusing on nailing the basics: diet, sleep, and training. All I want you to do is I want you to focus on getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. Focus on eating single ingredient foods. So a rule that I would use is if it didn't exist 100 years ago, then I would stay away from it as much as possible. And then for training, I wouldn't overcomplicate things at all. I would pick a split, commit to a split. I would go in, train hard, and then you will put on muscle. It really isn't that complicated. So I mentioned at the beginning of the video, you have to nail this last one for all the other ones to work. And the first thing you need to do is you need to build a foundation. So many people are out here just striving to get lean. They just want to look lean. They've heard the phrase, lean is law. Lean is not law. without the muscle there in the first place to build that foundation. Because people look at what I'm doing now and staying lean year round, and I'm striving to be lean year round, but that was not always the case. I had to go through gaining phases, bulking phases, where I was building up the calories, where I was building muscle, where maybe a few times I did lose my abs, but that is completely fine because there's no point of cutting down if you've got any muscle because you've got nothing to show for it. The reason why so many people, when they cut down, they look so good is because they've built that foundation of muscle. You may have seen transformations of people that have got a bit of body fat on them, but you can tell there's a lot of muscle, and when they cut down, they just look 10 times bigger because they're revealing the muscle and they're losing the fat. If you look at yourself and think you do have a little bit of fat to lose, do a small deficit 5 to 6 weeks, strip off all the fat, then get yourself into a lean gaining phase for at least 9 to 10 months. Build the foundations, build the muscle, then when you cut down, you're going to look 10 times better. And if you are someone that is looking to lose fat and build muscle at the exact same time, then click the link in the description on my free guide to do exactly that.